Move on to Kenya because refugee athletes in Kenya are given a chance to compete in the upcoming Tokyo Olympic Games. Earlier this month, the International Olympic Committee approved a list of 29 refugees who are set to compete under the Olympic flag. The selection of the refugee team for Tokyo was based on the athletes' sporting performance and their refugee status as confirmed by the UN Refugee Agency. Details of that in this report.
As dawn breaks over the Ngong Hills, nearly 30 kilometers from Nairobi, the hard work begins for these athletes. Many of them are refugees forced from their homes in countries like South Sudan and Burundi. 4 of them will join the expanded 29-man team to represent refugees at the Tokyo Olympics, which was announced earlier this month, offering them an opportunity to compete against the best on the world stage. The 4 athletes, all from South Sudan, have made a home here and now train under the tutelage of former world marathon record holder Tegla Lorupe, who was the team's chef de mission to Rio in 2016. She believes in these athletes giving back down the road.
They want to get knowledge that tomorrow they go home and bring this knowledge to their relatives or to their countrymen. Because you go somewhere and those athletes, they know that these are displaced athletes. Now they are going to Tokyo, or now they went to Rio. But when they go back to their country, they are the youths who are fighting. And these youths, they will see them as a role model. And they can do more things, they will have peace.
Rose Lokonyen was the flag bearer for the initial team to the Rio Olympic Games in 2016. For her and her teammates, the chance to return is an incredible honor. She says that her passion for peace and the rights of refugees continues to spur her on, especially in the face of stigma and oppression.
In life, you don't have to lose hope because we're all human beings and no one chooses to be a refugee. A refugee is just a status whereby one time you can change your status as well through talent, through education, because we have so many different things that you want to do in life.
Most of the athletes here were forced to return to Kakuma refugee camp during COVID-19 lockdowns, keeping them away from their trainers, which severely hampered their development. A situation known all too well to people who've been forced from their homes.
When they hear the word refugee, they say, oh, refugee, they're not a human being. So for me, I can say, no, refugee, they're human being like us. So he can talk, he can do something, he can do anything like other people. So that's why I can say that for me as a refugee, first of all, so for me to go and represent refugee in the world, so it's not something very easy. So for me, I just encourage to make other young talented people so that to follow our footsteps, because I need them also to be like me.
Actually, refugees is a human being whereby they have talents and they are human beings whom they know that they can do better. And we really appreciate that we get this chance, not just because of me alone. It's for all the refugees around the world or youth, you know, because there are so many of them who can do well. But just because they did not get this chance.
Before, nobody wanted to see that the refugees are good people. They always think that the stigma around the refugees is kind of like they are criminals, not knowing that anybody can be a refugee. When you have conflict in your area, you end up being also displaced. But when the athlete went to Rio, the nations and the NOCs saw that there is need to support their talents. And like Kenya, we've been supported by our country, our nation, security-wise. Our athletes are training with our Kenyan athletes, and that's solidarity.
Representing the nearly 80 million people worldwide forced from their homes, their preparations have been made that much harder by the coronavirus pandemic. But as they join the 25 other sportsmen and women competing under the Olympic flag at this year's Games, they'll be seeking to not only restore and highlight the dignity and talent of the refugee athlete, but do so